So while paying your taxes with your credit cards is usually very taboo, it's something I do every single year, and I actually get tremendous value in doing so. And the problem is, so few people even know that you could actually do this. So in this video, I want to mention exactly why I pay my taxes on my credit cards every single year, and why you should, and exactly how to do it in the first place. So the first thing is, why even pay your taxes on a credit card in the first place? Because I know a lot of people mention, oh, you have to pay a certain fee. Maybe it's 2%, maybe it's 3% to the IRS to even be able to pay your taxes with your said credit card. I don't want to pay 3%. What if I told you that every single year I pay that 3%, I'm actually getting back over 10% in value just by doing it? You would say I'm crazy, but let me show you exactly how. So the first thing to mention is that most people who are actually paying taxes, aka not being owed things at the end of the year, yeah, I remember those days. Basically, you're a person that probably owns your own business, and or you just make a lot of income, or you just didn't pay the right amount of estimated taxes every single quarter. Whatever the reason is, at the end of the year, there's going to be a tax bill that you have to foot. So take me for an example. Last year, I unfortunately had to sell some stock and therefore owed about $5,000 worth of taxes on it. And in that situation, I had other cards to actually use at that time, but just to make the example easy, I could have signed up for what is called the Chase Ink Unlimited card, this one right here. This is a credit card that sports a $0 annual fee, so there's no risk there. And after $6,000 worth of spend, they're actually going to be giving me back about 75,000 Chase points, which $5,000 on this card would be almost all of the required spend to actually hit that 75,000 bonus. So then you might be wondering, like, what could I do with 75,000 Chase points? What, are they just worth nothing? Oh, the contrary, my friend, because 75,000 points could be worth a lot depending on how you use it. At the lowest level, what you could possibly do is just take 75,000 points out, cash them out into your bank account, which you can do, at a rate of 1 cent per point, aka giving you about $750 in cash back for that $6,000 in spend. And then on top of that, that card also gives you 1.5% return on all that spend. So that $5,000, $6,000 that you're spending, 900 points to that, giving you effectively about $850 in cash back in your pocket. So at one point you were like, oh, $5,000 out of my pocket. Oh no, so much money out of my pocket. And while it does suck, now you're actually getting some money back for the spend you were going to make anyway. Which, if you do the math, if you spend $6,000 but get $850 back, you're effectively getting about a 14 to 15% return on all of that spend that you were about to get nothing on. Now, of course, at the beginning, I also mentioned, oh, you're going to have to foot that 3% fee, right? Well, what is just a 3% fee on that $5,000 tax payment? Well, it's about $150. So instead of $850 back, okay, just call it $700 in cash back. Still over 10% return on your money, which you're not able to get in the stock market nowadays, are you, huh? I know for definite, I'm not getting that at all. And this works from the high end, like this one, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 worth of spend, and also the low end too, like maybe you only have a tax payment of $500 at the end of the year. Not that bad, but you still want to earn some money back. What you could technically do is sign up for maybe this card right here, the Chase Freedom Unlimited. It has a welcome offer right now that if you spend $500 on this card, you're going to be getting back $200 in, again, either points or cash back, which after factoring in the 3% fee is still a solid 20-30% return on your money. That's powerful. And there's many cards like that out there, like the Capital One Saver One, the Capital One Quicksilver card, the Chase Freedom Flex, the Amex Blue Cash Everyday, Amex Blue Cash Preferred. So many different cards out there that you can maximize your tax payments every single year. But even beyond that, and if you're trying to actually level up your game a little bit in life, and join what's called the points and miles game, what you could theoretically do is that $750 in cash back, you could actually use that in the form of points, transfer it, and use it towards travel. So take me for an example too, just a basic level, what I'm able to do with those said points. Like take this card for example, the Chase Ink Unlimited that I signed up for not too long ago. They actually gave me 90,000 points after I spent $6,000 on this card. So a little bit of a better offer. And this is now my second one. So once I get both bonuses on both cards, I will actually have enough points to actually book out 7 full nights at the Andaz in Maui in Hawaii. Which, I mean, come on now. Look at this insane hotel. Look at these infinity pools, the views, walk from the beach. It's like an amazing property. All because, well, maybe I had tax payments and maybe I had other business expenses. Maybe I had tax payments, or maybe I'm just buying my groceries every single month on these said credit cards. And just because I was that and smart in my strategy and signing up for credit cards, I can now take basically free vacations to some of the highest and most luxurious properties in the entire world. Which technically this hotel for a 7-day stay would run you about $7,000 out of pocket, which again was already much more than my tax payment in total was just a year ago, which was able to get me much more money in travel in return. So let me ask you again, $7,000 Hawaii stay, or do I don't care about credit cards and I don't want 3% fee? Okay, I think it's an obvious answer. So now that we're on the same page, let's actually get to another page, which is actually the IRS website. So the best way I've always seen to actually get on there, and the only way I've ever actually done it, was to type in irs.gov/payments. Usually it's the first option right here, make a payment, irs.gov, make sure it's the correct website. And then once you're here, you'll be met with a few different options, right? You can have pay now, you can have pay with your bank account, pay by debit, credit card, or digital wallet. The only difference between these two is if you pay with your bank account, it says right here for individuals only, aka just for your personal taxes, but not if you have, quarterly business taxes and what have you. So if you're going to be paying for business taxes or personal, it's going to be via card, digital wallet, debit card, and whatnot. So this is the one I've always picked, and this is what we are going to want to do today. So we're going to click on that. And of course, just to be clear, this is only if you want to do everything yourself and, there's no other option for you. Like if you go to a normal H&R Block or you have a CPA, I mean, largely you're able to pay with a credit card right then and there with those CPAs. But if you're looking to do it online like myself, where I just had some stock payments and I wanted to do it all individually, this is how you would end up doing it. So once we're here, you can see that they're going to give you a few different options here. And for the most part, these options are kind of laid out a little bit down here on just the payment processor. And this is the price that you actually pay just by using these certain systems. And for the most part, I'm usually going with the cheapest one. So I'll always go pay USA tax, which is this left side here. And if it says right here, if you're paying with a debit card, it's $2.14. That's just a flat, tax for you. But if you're paying by credit card, you're going to be paying a flat 1.82% on the entire bill. So like in my example of $5,000, this would be, closer to, $100 in fees that I would end up paying. And you can see it pretty much accepts a wide variety of things: Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, a bunch of different other ones. And also PayPal. So if you have like a Chase Freedom Flex and you're having like a 5% rotating categories, you could technically get 5% back on this tax payment, thus, netting you 3.18%, right? So if we're good with this, we're going to go right into make a payment. And here is where we're going to be able to check if it's your business payment or if it's your personal payment. Again, if it's going to be stock sales under your own, personal account, brokerage account, then you're going to do personal. If it's under your business, it's going to be for business. So if we click here, if you click right here for make a business payment, you could see you're basically going by category. I'm not necessarily familiar with any of these here. If you have a business, I'm assuming, or a CPA, they'll be able to tell you which ones this actually will, apply to you. And then of course the tax type, which is going to be based on whatever the prior, category was. But of course for personal use, like the one that I always use, make a personal payment. And then from here, most of the time it's going to be a 1040. And from here, you can click that. And then right here it says checkbox if you received a balance due notice from the IRS. So of course if you have mail, and let's say that we do, right? We hit continue. And then from here, it's pretty much going to ask you your entire loadout, just as if you were applying for a credit card, right? So your first name, initial, last name, social security number or ITIN. This is for people who do not already have a social security number. All of your basic general info. And then at the bottom here, you want to make sure is that you pay the correct amount. So if you got it via letter or your CPA told you, and for some reason they couldn't process it, then you want to make sure you write down the exact amount in that way. So for me, I literally typed in, $5,000.00, and then pay with credit card, and then of course all of the cardholder information. And then once you go from here, it'll go to a screen to just confirm and pay, to which you will have paid your tax payment. And hopefully if everything goes in correctly, you will have paid your taxes for this year. And something that it mentions right here to just just in case, please make sure the emails from payusatax.com are not directed to your spam folder. We'll send you a confirmation email after your transaction is completed. So if for some reason something messes up, you want to have the paper trail that you did in fact pay your amount of taxes that you had to owe for this given year, right? And a little tip here too, if you have multiple credit cards that maybe your spend is $15,000 and you have different credit card welcome offers to hit, if you need to make partial payments using different payment methods, you can do so by completing 2 separate transactions and receiving 2 confirmation numbers. So if I had 2 different credit cards, I'm just going to put $2,500 here. Boom. Okay, pay everything, put the card information in, come back to the website again and do another 2,500. And this way you can hit both credit cards welcome offers in the same transaction. So that's all possible, and they make it very easy on this IRS website, oddly enough, right? But again, a lot of this is double checking, making sure it's the correct form, making sure you're paying for business and not personal. So of course, always consult a CPA, always do a lot of research, and don't just trust everybody on the internet, right? This is what worked for me, and maybe if you guys are in my same situation, this will work for you as well. And of course, if anyone has any more detailed information, please let us know in the comments below, because I'm sure a lot of people can benefit from that, including myself. So I appreciate you and salute you if you do that ahead of time. And then of course, pay them in full, because we don't want to carry any balances on our credit cards because interest rates suck. And if you're a person that is going to carry a balance from month to month, then probably don't do this method whatsoever. You need to be somebody that has that money ready to go in your bank account. And if you don't, you shouldn't even be on this video in the first place. And if you want to see more on how I maximize my points and miles to get more and more vacations every single year with just my credit cards, check out this video here. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of value from it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.